this as a human being, so that can pass in the middle. So you see, like in here, so this axis is there within us, which is this axis in here.
So it's just like that saying, as above, so below.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So that divine light can be used, and the 7 is nothing but these 7 chakras. So when we activate these 7 chakras, when a human being activates these 7 chakras, the light, the divine light flows, the Shiva flows. And when Shiva flows, automatically Soma is generated, which is associated with DMT.
That's interesting. And also, I know that in both concepts of, the 7 realms and also the 14 different looks, I've noticed that the earth or Bhurloka, where we are, it's in the middle. So, and the middle chakra, that the Anahata, the heart chakra, I know my meditation teacher says that it's like the bridge between the lower and the higher chakras.
Higher chakras, yes.
Yeah.
So, so the chakra, if you see from here till here, there are 7 chakras. So Anahata, the heart, is the middle. But then if you consider lokas, these are the lokas in here. So currently we are in Bhur Loka, but then there are lokas up here, if you see.
Yes.
And below are the other lokas like Atala and Til Patala. So 7 below, and from Bhur Loka, the 7 above.
That's really interesting.
And yeah,
I'm curious. I mean, I know that of course they say there are 7 main chakras in the body, but then they also say that there are other minor chakras. So I'm wondering whether
so these are not chakras. So chakras, you're right. Like there are 7 main chakras that we all know, but then there are various other chakras. But then these are the important ones. But then these are the lokas. So above these main chakras, below are all the lokas, and above are the other lokas.
Okay, so they're not to do with minor chakras, are they?
No, so they are above. So the lokas are a different concept, and chakras are a different concept. But then they both are united because the divine light in between all these lokas and human beings, they pass from this channel.
Yeah.
And that divine channel is nothing. The divine light is Shiva. The channel is Ida and Pingala. And Sushumna. When we so both the left and the right, when they both are activated, what happens is that is associated with Kundalini rising. There is a serpent that is sleeping inside the base chakra, which could be activated, and then it could activate both the left and the right, Ida and Pingla, and the energy is channeled through Sushumna. So Sushumna is like the middle, channel, and that channel could be used to go to other lokas, on the top, and the lokas below.
Oh wow! So that's how people can
astral travel, which is time
travel. Wow!
Correct.
So that's how they do it. Yes. And depending on your state, like you can go to either the lower or the higher ones.
Higher, yes. It depends. Like for example, there is we all know about a person called Narada Muni. If you see, like he has traveled everywhere. He goes up, down, like wherever he feels. So what happens is like he has channeled. He's Brahman himself, so that's the different thing. But then, if you activate the Sushumna, why activating the Ida and Pingla, which is nothing but the Rahu and Ketu energy, the sleeping coil, which is sleeping in the base, the Mooladhara chakra.
Yeah.
Which is in the genitals of any human being. But then once that is activated, both the energies, they move like a serpent in here. And then when both are in harmony, the Ida and Pingla, one is associated with the sun energy, the other is associated with the moon energy. When both are activated, what happens is the middle, the Sushumna Nadi, it gets activated. And that middle line is the same line in here, which is the Shiva. So the divine light energy. So Shiva is like the divine light, which can pass. So once we activate that energy, that Shiva energy within us, it allows us to go to different portals, different lokas. And in the past, what used to happen was to activate that divine light, people used to eat external substances like mushrooms, for example. Some used to eat like lotus, blue lotus, or the water droplets that drop on lotus. There are other, psychedelics that people, our ancients used to eat, and that is associated with DMT or Soma or Vishnu. Yeah, Vishnu is always associated with love. Love is nothing but Soma, and DMT is like the chemical equation of love. That's what you can, the one way of putting it, I think. So that when people used to have that used to activate their Kundalini.
Yeah.
And their Ida and Pingla was, it could raise, and then the Sushumna got activated. And that Sushumna is nothing but the portal to higher lokas as well as the lower lokas.
Yeah, and it's no wonder they say that with the Kundalini awakening, it's better to do it under the guidance of a guru, so that and to do it slowly rather than too fast. Because if you do it too quickly, or when you're not ready, or if you're not really in the best frame of mind, or emotional state, then you could end up, mistakenly going to some lower realms, without your control, and that makes sense.
So what happens is, like, all these, the chakras, they are in a subtle body. So human Vedas say that human being have got three bodies. One is like the physical body that we see and associate ourselves with. But then we have two other bodies which are not visible. One is the subtle, and the second is the causal. Subtle body is where is activated while we are dreaming as well. And also these chakras are in the subtle body. It's not visible in the physical realm. But then once these chakras are activated in the subtle body, what happens is higher perception is given. In our current perception, we can only see whatever is happening in the physical realm. We cannot see what is happening in the subtle realm. And if our consciousness is not high, what happens is there is a possibility of us going to, say, different lower lokas. Say, for example, if somebody goes to Patala after activating, just imagine the amount of, Rakshas they would, but then nothing in Vedas is associated with good or bad. There are just different beings, yeah?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
All, karma,
when you boil it down, it's to gunas, I think that's the nice thing. It's not really actually judgmental, or,
no, not at all,
or dualistic. I think it's more sort of matter of fact and transcendental and compassionate and loving as well. And that's the thing that I do appreciate about it, actually.
Yeah. It's just that we are in Kali Yuga, and we were supposed to get in touch with someone called as Asura Kali, and he must have lived in the lower lokas. So there must have been, like, some of our ancestors, the recent ancestors, might have gone wrong with this tantra, and they might not have followed a guru, or I don't know the exact reason, but something has gone wrong, and they have gone to other lokas where they must have got in contact with other energies like the Rakshasas or the Asuras, like Kali, and he is activated in Kali Yuga. But having said that, all of this is in line with the chaos is in line with the concept of yugas as well. So that is like the best thing.
I was gonna say yes. I mean, even though it's not something ideal, but I guess it's probably in line with destiny. With destiny, or with what is sort of like the grand design or the higher plan. I know it may not make sense to everybody, but I think people who studied it. I mean, I guess when you think about it, we call it like krida or lila, then with a good, and I'm not trying to trivialize, like, negative things or miseries or sorrows, I'm not saying they're not real, but if you were to think about, if you were to step back as an observer and see, when you're reading a story or when you're watching a film, like, if things were sort of happy all the time, then that doesn't make for a for a good story. Even in school, when we were taught that, a plot has a beginning, middle, and end, and you can't just, there has to be a problem in the plot there has to, and then there has to be various characters. You can't just, a good story will not just be happy all the time. And so I don't know, I guess I know I again, I don't want to get scared, I think, by people are not gonna think I'm trivializing real life sorrows, but it's kind of, when you think of it philosophically, it's I guess it's sort of like, kind of trying to give all, you give the good side a chance, and you kind of give the not so good side a chance as well. In the game of life. So I'm sorry, if I do come across as
no, you're absolutely right. Like a little bit of darkness is necessary for anyone, any jiva, to try to understand Brahman or the ultimate reality. And I think that's why a lot of us have deliberately chosen this Kali Yuga to get born in this period, so that we understand Brahman more easily. Like these concepts, like about having three different type of bodies, or all these chakras, or the divine light that was passing. In the previous yugas, people used to have to do a lot of tapasya to even understand these concepts. But the beautiful thing about Kali Yuga is, like at least the first 10,000 years of Kali Yuga, is these information will be easily accessible if one, make sure like their psyche is developed, or their consciousness, they try to higher their consciousness. It's easier for them to do in the first 10,000 years of Kali Yuga. And that's why a lot of Rishi Munis, a lot of, Devtas, even in the, heavens, they have made sure like they get a birth as a human, and in this Kali Yuga period, especially in the first 10,000, to understand these concepts. But then,
sorry, sorry, please carry on.
But then the only caveat to all of this is, once a person is born in this physical reality, Maya gets attached, and we forget why exactly we have chosen this birth. It's only either via good product from the past, or some distress in life, or second is like if someone wants to gain profit, and the fourth one was remind me of the
goodness. Okay, so you said distress, profit. Was it curiosity that you said?
Curiosity, yes. So if somebody develops curiosity, so these are only the 4 categories. When that happens, then they realize, okay, why I have chosen this current birth. And that is when they deviate their mind and try to understand these knowledge.
Interesting. I think maybe I'm a combination of curiosity and distress.
Yes, I think it's the case with all of us at the moment. Another concept, I think you asked about DMT, which is like the substances that our ancestors used to generate soma, which could automatically, channel all these energies from lower to higher. And that could help them to go into all these lokas. And this substances are currently, I think, 6,000 years back, or when, say, about the time when all the main rivers like Saraswati, they got extinct. That is when there was a climate change. I think that's when these substances might have gone extinct. So a lot of our sages, they came up with different methods, not to depend on any external substance, but they found out that there were various methods that we could use in our human body to channel this energy. So this energy, when it is channeled it can be channeled from top to bottom, or bottom to top. So when it is from bottom to top, it is via different methods like Kundalini meditation, via Tantra, via other means as well. And when it is from top to bottom, it is from Bhakti tradition, when the energy is channeled from the head to bottom. It is like, that is what is called as kripa, or in English it is, what is kripa in English? Blessings.
Blessings,
yeah. So when there is blessings from God, this energy travels from head to bottom. When a human being, say for example, is not that blessed, they can channel this energy, they can still channel their energy via different means, via Kundalini awakening or others. So that is where like there are various traditions. The Bhakti tradition, what happens is the energy is channeled from the top to bottom. So that is why if you see like a lot of Bhakti tradition, they would put their hands like this, so that they are channeling the energy from top.
That's why
That's why they do that. Yes.
They raise
The higher you do, that is where you channel the energy from top to in your body. But then in the other traditions, like we say traditions, but then all of this are aiming at one thing, like just to activate this portal, that divine light, and that light can make us travel to other lokas.
And it's no wonder then that we have things like mudras, like, you know, we have it in the
Yes.
forms of classical dance, but it's also witnessed that, you know, people who undertake yogic practices or meditation or sadhana, you'd see them using various mudras for perhaps maybe for activating in various ways or clearing blockages. You know, that's really interesting. Yeah. I'm curious with I am sort of familiar with the I know that there are various chakra meditations where people start from the bottom and go up to the top. But then with the bhakti tradition, I know there is bhakti yoga, and I know that people do kirtan, and they just wondering, and please pardon my lack of understanding and ignorance here, you know. But then would you be able to give an example, maybe of just any example of a bhakti tradition where you kind of typically channel, like, you know, from the to the bottom, you know?
So there are various bhakti tradition. Like for example, you bring your favorite deity. Say for example, if somebody prays Jesus, somebody prays like Krishna or any deity, and then you are decorating them. You actually feel like you have this devotion to them as if they are the Brahman. When that develops slowly, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice to get to that stage. It is very, very difficult to get to that stage. But then when that bhakti, I think in the last, Facebook Live, we went through the types of love, which is the one kind of love is like via going through all the scriptures and the knowledge, like going with the moral code of the scriptures. And the second kind of bhakti is like secretive bhakti, the raganuga bhakti, which is like more at a mystical level. So that is separate, the bhakti can be generated via various, and then one of the bhakti tradition is associated, there are 64 different type of bhaktis that one can do. So classical dance is one of the kind, classical music is one of the kind. So if you see people, Kripalji Maharaj used to say, like one person, they eat poison by knowingly or unknowingly, they die. It's the same with, taking Amrit as well. So a person knows that why, they don't know why they are doing classical dance, they don't know why they are doing classical music, but then it develops bhakti in them automatically, because it's like it's automatic. And then once that bhakti or devotion to a higher Brahman is developed, what happens is it's like meditation, and the energy is like activated. So if you see like a lot of people who do well in their careers, they also have a hobby. They say nowadays they call it hobby, but then what that is like they have unknowingly they have activated this Shiva, the divine light within them. So unknowingly, like as Maharaji used to say, like unknowingly you eat poison, or knowingly you die. It's similar with the soma or amrit as well. Knowingly or unknowingly you do something, you will still develop. But then once so there is a dance that you do before knowing Vedas, and there's a dance that you do after knowing Vedas, and there is a little bit of difference because you feel that soma automatically in you. Like, you would feel like now when you sing and you understand a little bit of Vedas, you will feel the divine bliss again. Like that bhakti will be higher and higher. So that is the sadhana, that is the practice.
So I guess that's why, it's no wonder that people see different art forms as therapeutic,
Yes.
they
Yeah,
say drama
that's the
therapy,
concept.
dance therapy, art therapy,
Yes,
and
yeah.
so it's
Nowadays, yeah, English has got various interesting words that they associate, like hobby or therapy and so on. But
yeah,
what Vedas say are like there are 64 different variety of bhakti, which will do nothing, but they will make sure like the divine light is activated.
yeah,
And Soma is activated via 64 methods as well. So
yeah.
Soma is important. Yeah.
Just a quick question: is that these 64 types of bhakti, was that influenced by the 64 types of arts? I think,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
posted about earlier. That's
Yes.
so
Yeah.
interesting. So those 64 types of arts are basically 64 different forms of
Forms
bhakti.
of, yeah. And
Wow.
there are similarly 64 different kind of tantras as well.
Oh.
So the 64 kind of bhakti, like art via